growing up a Cleveland Indians fan was difficult. Being 60 years old, we didn't have very much to cheer for. I mean, Gaylord Perry was awesome, and in my most baseball crazed years, he was definitely a hero. But it wasn't until 1995 that the Indians were awesome. In that strike-shortened season, the team only played 144 games, yet they won 100. One of the highest winning percentages for any baseball team over an entire season ever. That team was invincible. You never gave up on them. And this new Cleveland baseball team, the Guardians, in their inaugural season with the new nickname, we're not going there. They're our baseball team. They're sure turning on the juice. They don't have the power, and you don't have the confidence to the degree you did with the 95 team, but my goodness, this surge at the end of the season to win the Central Division title and what lay ahead potentially is incredible. To remind everybody what it was like after 4 decades of not having a World Series presence in 1995, this is the WJW 6pm newscast from October 21st, 1995, immediately before the first game of the 95 World Series between the Braves and the Indians. We were excited, and we deserved it. And I hope we get there again this year. Pretty poetic, really. Good luck, Guardians.
We're giving away World Series tickets Monday at 6 on News Center 8.
When you're out and about and unable to watch News Center 8 at 6 here on TV 8, now you can listen to it on the radio. News Center 8 at 6, exclusively on WELW AM 1330.
Good evening, everyone. Live from Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm Tim Taylor.
And I'm Robin Swoboda, and we are here for Game 1 of this 91st World Series.
And straight ahead tonight, we'll take you to the second busiest place in Atlanta, the airport. Indians fans are arriving in droves to drive their tribe to victory.
You can't believe it unless you see it. And wait till you see the transformation that's taken place at one of Atlanta's main fan stores.
And how are all of us Indians fans holding up today? The nerve-wracking anticipation is high. We'll take the pulse of Greater Cleveland on this night of Game 1. That and more live from Fulton County Stadium.
For this special edition of News Center 8, the World Series, 41 years in the making.
At Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta, where, as Jim Thome put it, in just about 90 minutes, the battle of the century will begin. The best hitting team in baseball, with certainly the most enthusiastic fans, takes on the best pitching team in baseball, with fans, frankly, who will accept nothing less than a World Series victory.
It is so thrilling to be here. You know, Tim and I have been covering the stories from the angle of the fans, and in a few minutes we're going to show you how tribe fever has spread all the way to Atlanta, Georgia. But we all know what brought us here, and that is the best team in baseball. Casey and Mark are down on the field right now, and Casey, you know this team's always been loose before a game. Is tonight any exception?
I gotta tell you, the Indians are pretty loose in the batting cage. You don't see as many smiles, and faces are a little more tense, I would say. What do you say, Mark?
Yeah, I think you're right, Casey. Talking with Manny Ramirez a little nervous, but I think he wanted to vent his frustration out in the cage. I'll tell you one guy who really vented his frustration in the cage. Albert Bell hit the first 6 pitches that he got in batting practice out of the park. 8 of his first 11 swings, Casey, home runs.
And all over the place, left, center, and right. They've got a lot of Indian fans on that side of us. Right behind us, the rumor has it that the Indians are taking batting practice. There are 815 members of the media here right now. And right now, we just had a late roster move reported by the Atlanta Braves. Apparently, Jeff Blauser has been taken off the roster.
And Ed Giovanola, he's a rookie, a guy that they just brought up in September, but they've liked his bat all year long in the minor leagues, is now going to take his place on the roster.
Albert Bell has demonstrated in the cage 100%. Sandy Alomar, I talked to him a while ago, says his neck and knee are 100%. He's ready to go. As far as the Braves,
David Justice's knee seems okay. He said there's no problem. He's doing fine. But Chipper Jones is walking around with stitches in his lip and a huge fat lip. He had a ball that carried him off the wall in batting practice yesterday, hit him right in the mouth, and even chipped a couple teeth. Thus, Chipper Jones.
we'll be back. And his grandfather's from Elyria.
That's right.
So, hi, Granddad. We'll be back in sports. We'll hear from Oral Hershiser, Dave Justice, Bobby Cox, Charles Nagy. But right now, let's send you back outside, Tim and Robin.
Okay, thank you, guys. Hey, unlike our Cleveland fans who are here with all their regalia, what Robin and I noticed upon arriving in Atlanta yesterday are the fans here are just a little bit jaded.
A little bit apathetic, it would seem. Yeah, we even joked about not finding any signs of life. Well, that life arrived about 2:30 this afternoon. They came in by the plane loads. Tribe fans eager to see their team's first World Series game in 41 years.
I think we're going to root them on. They're going to wipe them out. First game. Give me a sweep. Sweep.
We're going to teach them how to play the game.
We're going to teach them how to do it, man.
The Atlanta Bills, baby.
Yeah,
At least 500 Clevelanders chartered jets and booked the last of the hotel rooms to witness Tribe history in the making.
costs more for a ticket in Cleveland than to fly down here and go to the game.
The Atlanta airport was turned into pure pandemonium as more and more Indians fans arrived from Cleveland to cheer on their beloved team.
To be fair now, we did finally see some Braves fans, but they just weren't brave enough. Ah, if only those people in the Kingdome could have heard it.
Oh, my. You know what, Robin? I still can't hear very well. They certainly were enthusiastic.
I think those airport employees were afraid.
I think so. Well, now we're going to take you to a spot 850 miles north of here to a location that's almost as popular as Jacobs Field.
That's right. It is the Field of Dreams at the Nautica stage in the Flats. And News Center 8's Ray Harris is there live. And, Ray, I'm sure there's not any enthusiasm there, is there?
Well, guess again there, Tim and Robin. Hope you guys are having a good time down there in Atlanta. I want to ask you a question before you get away, if you will. The excitement, is there, the Tribe fans, we can see that they're excited, but what about those Braves fans down there? Because the Braves have been there so many times and have come up short. How's it coming?
It seems just another game to them.
Ray, let me tell you a little story. There's a caterer down here who took 70,000 catering reservations this last month. Not a single one for a World Series party. So that should tell you something.
Oh, my goodness. Well, it's just the opposite here in Cleveland. Nautica Stage has been transformed into, well, the Field of Dreams here in the Flats here in downtown Cleveland. The gates have not opened yet, but I have ambushed a few fans, and they're going to give me some excitement back down to Atlanta. First of all, your name is?
Robert Frost.
What brought you down to Nautica Stage tonight?
Oh, we're down here because it's a lot better than being there in person. You get to see the replays, and they let you smoke here, and it's just a lot of fun. They got it set up, beer vendors going around. It's a wonderful place.
Tim and Robin are down in Atlanta. They tell us that the fans down there are really not that excited. They've been let down a little bit before. Get you to assess the Tribe fans here in Cleveland.
The Tribe fans are so excited. I lived in Atlanta for 4 years, and they're a little jaded down there. They think, oh, we lost it twice. Now it's our turn to win it down there. But you know, they don't know that the Tribe has got these big bats coming in. They're going to tear apart their pitching staff. So Tribe fans are psyched. We're ready to go. We don't care about a little bit of rain or a little bit of cold. It's beautiful up here.
Okay, speaking of the cold, I wanted to ask your friend about that. Come on over here.
Hey, you got to see our tattoos.
Oh, your tattoos?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Can you get a shot of that? Look at that. That's nice. That is very nice. He mentioned it was a little cold. Hey, but you got some Tribe fever to warm you up, though, right?
This is Cleveland weather. You expect it. You dress for the weather. You know what's going to happen. You get warmed up with the fever because it's just chaotic. Last week, this place was a zoo. It's going to be crazy tonight, too.
Is that what brought you back?
Oh, of course. I love it down here. Definitely. There's better than a bar because you've got the people here.
Okay, thanks a lot, and see you guys cheering on a little bit later on, okay?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay, Tim and Robin, a lot of excitement is about to happen here at Nautica Stage once the Indians and Braves take the field in Atlanta.
Woo! as you know it.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thanks very much, Ray. Well, we may be standing here in Atlanta, but we know that every single person in Northeast Ohio is just ready to watch that first pitch fly.
That's right. In fact, News Center 8's Belinda Prinz was out and about today. And, of course, all the people are nervous waiting for those two magic words, play ball.
Down, happy Indians fans added World Series bliss to their wedding plans.
Go
And so the magic of Albert Bell mixed with wedding bells, Our Lady of Good Counsel Church turned out to be a very good place for Chief Wahoo to perch.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. My husband asked me if I wanted to go out to dinner tonight for Sweetest Day. I said, are you kidding? We're going to be watching the game tonight.
With the fervor of a trip to Mecca, Tribe fans were still flocking to places to buy Indians items, especially at the Jacobs Field gift shop. What better place to while away those jittery pregame hours?
I've been nervous for weeks. Until this is done, I'm not sleeping well, I'm not eating well, work is not getting done.
My wife wants a couple of World Series pins, so I got to get in a couple other things.
Across from the Field of Dreams, Bob Battisti spent this day planting a field of chrysanthemums.
This side's going to say Cleveland or Indians, and we're going to have a big baseball up there, and then it's going to say Go Tribe.
Wherever I went, the anticipation and excitement was intense. Chief Wahoo has us by our hearts and stomachs.
Looks good. And there's baseball cookies? The cookies are 60 cents each.
It looks like there's only one cure, the sweet taste of victory. Belinda Prinz, News Center 8, Cleveland.
Boy, as you can imagine, the thousands of Tribe fans down here have bought out every piece of Indians paraphernalia back home. But as we discovered earlier today, parts of Atlanta have actually become Indians territory. Look at this.
Champions right here.
Hungry Tribe fans can't seem to get enough of the Tribe memorabilia, and it's getting tougher still to keep the shelves stocked. I know, you're wondering, how come they sent Tim, Robin, Dick, and Casey all the way to Atlanta, and they end up in the Indians team shop in Jacobs Field? Well, folks, I know it's hard to believe, but I'm in the center of Atlanta. The Indians are so hot that they turned this shop into the Indians dugout for the entire series. Jim Pepper, whose store is in the CNN Center in Atlanta, says his phone's been ringing off the hook from fans from Cleveland and all over the South in search of any and all Indian stuff.
It's phenomenal. We were in the paper this morning, on every TV, the whole thing, and it's just been jamming. The phone rang off the hook yesterday with early stories about it, and it's been packed all day, as you can see.
They've seen the light, and they finally have all of our stuff. And this has been great because we've come in here, and this has been like a center point for all of Ohioans to come together.
Judging by this display of glasses commemorating only the Olympics and the Indians, it looks like the folks here agree. The Braves don't have a shot.
No, they don't. No, they don't. Well, you know, baseball fans in Cleveland and Atlanta are on the edge of their seats. Well, I don't know if the Atlanta fans are on the edge of their seats. Maybe they're halfway down the lazy boy recliner. But anyway, everybody's anxious for this Game 1 of the World Series.
That's right. Even President Clinton used his weekly radio address to reflect on the virtues of our national pastime.
Baseball is a part of our common heritage. Its simple virtues, teamwork, playing by the rules, dedication, and optimism demonstrate basic American values.
Clinton said that baseball is an example of how people of different ethnic backgrounds can work and achieve together. The president also urged the players and the owners to reach a lasting labor agreement.
You know, Tim, speaking of agreements, we got to get Dick to agree to something. He's plastering Woolly Bear stickers all over Atlanta.
He's everywhere.
But he's finally found people who know what they mean.
I rounded up some of my rowdy friends tonight. And, let me take... How's that? Okay. What a nice night.
right. Now, last night the wind was coming in about 30 miles an hour out of the west. Not nearly as chilly tonight, and it'll be clear. It'll be dry. The field looks great. What a nice stadium they have here. Temperatures have been in the 50s today, around 60, but they'll be falling eventually towards the end of the game into the 40s. But it's going to be a great night.
Absolutely beautiful.
And you couldn't ask for better. No snow and stuff like that.
And we'll be back with more from Fulton County Stadium and the World Series right after this.
Tribe, you're the best. Kenny Lofton, we got the winners, the best team in baseball.
Go Tribe!
Go Tribe!
Welcome back, everybody. Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta for the first game of the World Series. We don't have to tell you, the World Series is big news, not just in Cleveland, but across America.
That's right. But, of course, there are other stories going on today. And for those stories, we're going to go back to Cleveland with News Center 8's Lori Jennings and Wayne Dawson. They'll fill us in on the latest.
How you doing? I hope you guys can bring back a winner tonight.
I hope so, too.
And we've got to ask you guys before we go to the news here, did you find a place to stay last night finally? Did you get some sleep?
Finally.
It was a teepee, I think.
Yeah, it was the third or fourth hotel, I believe.
Oh, my goodness.
Well, you look rested. You found a place. They're taking care of it.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
Well, as the Cleveland Indians prepare to face the Braves in Game 1 of the World Series tonight, back here at home in Cleveland, Mayor Michael White is trying to hash out a solution to a year-old problem.
There's still a multi-million-dollar debt owed to the dozens of electricians, glass makers, contractors, and iron workers who built Jacobs Field and the Gund Arena. Today, officials at a closed-door meeting in Cleveland tried to figure out how to pay that $21 million tab.
How much of that money is going to come out of our pockets as taxpayers?
Well, as state taxpayers, all of it. But if you're talking locally, we're talking about identifying a way to repay the $11.5 million loan, and that's where most of the negotiations have been over the last couple of days and will be over the next couple of days.
There's no word on whether contractors will go through with any legal action. A compromise plan could be announced by the mayor's office by next week. Well, tonight, the killer of a young girl is still out there somewhere.
11-year-old Bianca White died last year after being stabbed 38 times as she did her homework. News Center 8's Carol Wilkinson reports on renewed efforts now to solve the case.
They don't carry badges or guns, nor do they wear the uniforms of law enforcement. Still, they are trying to solve Bianca White's murder in the only way they know how.
I believe that the violence in our neighborhood is never going to cease until members come out and start doing something about it.
As they posted flyers and walked door to door, the members of this small but determined group stopped to talk with strangers about the little girl, the young honor student at Superior Elementary, who was at home alone doing her homework when a murderer attacked.
It's a tragedy. It didn't have to happen. But she's got a lot of family and friends who love her. And we're strong, you know. We'll stay together and put it in God's hand.
So far, there have been no arrests. A suspect questioned right after the murder was released due to lack of evidence. And while legal stumbling blocks may hamper the police investigation, the members of Black on Black Crime say it won't stop them from trying.
What's the police doing about it? There's a reason for this, okay? And we want that looked at, we want that addressed. And all our members are here to support that.
Carol Wilkinson, News Center 8, Cleveland.
Bianca White would have been 12 years old in January.
Crime Stoppers is offering a $2,000 reward for information leading to the conviction of her killer. Well, just as federal officials are ending prison riots in Alabama, Tennessee, Pennsylvania, and Illinois, a fifth is broken out, this time in El Reno, Oklahoma, the same prison holding Oklahoma bombing suspects Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. Authorities say a group of inmates attacked staff members, then went on to attack other inmates. And earlier today, police had their hands full in Greenville, Illinois, where inmates took over a housing unit and injured several employees. Federal authorities say they have regained control of that prison. Officials believe a nationwide prison lockdown may have sparked both riots. Okinawans are demanding the U.S. military leave their island. Thousands took to the streets today carrying banners and chanting, "Yankee, go home." The demonstration comes in reaction to the alleged rape of a 12-year-old girl by 3 U.S. servicemen. Today's protest is the largest of its kind since World War II.
For the first time since 1979, Fidel Castro will address the United Nations. The Cuban president is among 180 heads of state arriving for the 50th anniversary of the United Nations. Castro will give a 5-minute speech to the General Assembly on Sunday. He will be in the United States until Tuesday. After 6 unsuccessful attempts, the space shuttle Columbia is finally spending its first full day in space. The 7 astronauts are working around the clock on several experiments. They're setting small fires to study how flames spread in weightlessness. The astronauts will also be monitoring 10 young potato plants to see if they can be used for food on long missions. The 16-day mission is one of NASA's longest ever.
Community leaders in Cleveland are driving home an important message to parents with the work of movie producer Spike Lee. Close to 200 parents came to a free showing today of Lee's urban drama, Clockers. The movie serves as a springboard for a campaign to increase parental involvement in children's lives. BEDCO, or Black Elected Democrats of Cleveland, did sponsor the event. They'll be following up by asking parents to sign a parent's pledge of responsibility.
Legislators are back.
Parents are the first and most important teacher. Parents are the value setter. Parents are the character builder. Parents create the environment in the home for learning. And so when we talk about raising the academic success of children in school, we know that we need to start with the parent, that concrete parent-home environment.
Elected officials say this will be an ongoing campaign. They'll be passing out pledge cards over the next few weeks.
Remember when you were a child and buildings seemed so very tall and impressive? Ever wonder how they were built? Well, these Cleveland youngsters don't have to wonder anymore. That's because they're learning about architecture, city planning, and creating communities firsthand.
We feel if they learn young, they'll learn how they can participate as a citizen when they get older. And the younger that happens, the more they appreciate local government.
2,000 children from 7 Cleveland area schools were involved in the Kids City project. The display is open to the public through next Wednesday. Then it's on to Disney World in Orlando, Florida, where this miniature city will be displayed as part of a national planning conference. Well, that is what's making news here in Cleveland and around the world.
Yes, but of course, the big story of the day is Game 1 of the World Series. We're so excited. You guys have got to be on the edge of your chairs if you were sitting down, huh? It's got to be great.
Let's hope it's our Indians heading for Disney World in a few days,
Let's hope so. Didn't Orel Hershiser do a commercial for them?
That's right.
I think he did. You're right.
The World Series. Yeah. Well, how about a repeat? Wouldn't that be
I've got to tell you, right now we're not sure that every Indian fan in northeastern Ohio isn't right behind us.
If they aren't, they're sure making enough noise for them. Hey, we're going to be back with more from the World Series and Fulton County Stadium in just a few minutes. And plus, Mark's going to tell you what's going on weather-wise back home.
Don't touch that clicker.
Oh.
News Center 8 weather is brought to you in part by your Carrier Heating and Cooling dealers.
Well, we have gotten Dick out of the custody of the security agents here for inciting the fans.
Why exactly did they release you? Oh, I know. You gave him a woolly bear patch. That'll do it every time.
Yeah, my rowdy friends are actually... Hey, they're back.
Oh, they're back. Hey, Dick, it's just a doggone good thing that games 1 and 2 are being played down here, I think, huh?
And why is that? Oh, because of the weather.
Oh, yeah. Remember, you're the weather guy?
I forgot what my basic job was, and it's not a bad night here. And Mark will be back to tell you all about our Cleveland weather, and even into next week and beyond. Coming right up.
Well, guess what? He's here, Dick. He's right here.
I'm here, Richard.
And we're ready to roll.
That's right.
And you know what? You're absolutely right, Tim. I tell you what, it is a horrible day weather-wise here in Northeast Ohio. Awfully cold outside.
It really
Very
is.
much so.
It started off with some nice sun. If you just looked outside, you thought you were in the clear. And then you get out there and you thought, winter is here.
Yeah, all of a sudden, this morning the sun was on. I thought, hey, maybe that last forecast went galley west. But all of a sudden, things changed in a hurry. There's the banner, ladies and gentlemen, on the Rock On.
Rock on,
Go Tribe and rock on. And we're going to rock on with the numbers now. 45 degrees here at Hopkins Airport. The dew point at this point now stands at 40 out at the airport. Winds are out of the southwest at 14, so it's been a breezy day. The humidity 83%, barometer 29.78, and the barometer really going nowhere, just kind of sitting there at this point. Precipitation, Hopkins, we've been dry. Not the rule downtown. Had a shower come through during the past hour. Overcast skies at Burke Lakefront and also at Hopkins International, and the visibility at this point now is standing at 8 miles. Here's Doppler radar now out of the National Weather Service. You'll be able to see what's going on. These areas of showery weather continuing to drift out of the southwest and move toward the northeast. A lot of shower activity out over the lake, so some heavy rains falling out there. And some of you, for the most part, have just had a light to moderate form of rain. And some of you have had sunshine, a little bit of everything. But this is very typical if you're new to Cleveland for the autumn season, because, yes, we've got, still warm water out here on the lake. The water temperature's at 62 and very cold air coming across, and that can create a lake effect situation, a little backlash behind the low passing on through. So a combination of those two things, that's the reason we've had the gray overcast skies today. Sunrise Cleveland tomorrow morning at 7:47. Sunset now tomorrow is going to be at 6:37. Sunset tonight at 6:38. Normals are 61 and 42 for this date, so nowhere near where we should be in terms of an average high. Not too far off base in terms of the average low, though. 83 record high 1953, 26 record low 1952 a year ago. Not bad in the high department, up to 65. Nighttime low was 47, 50, and 40 top to bottom in Cleveland today. Regionally now, these are the numbers. You see the cool air has spilled all the way over to the East Coast. 53 around Philadelphia. It's 46 in Pittsburgh, Buffalo, New York at 49. 45 at Detroit City Airport there, 39 O'Hare Field, Chicago, and look at the 30-degree air way up into Michigan and cool air all the way down through Kentucky. The warmest air still down in the state of Tennessee. 45 degrees, Cleveland Hopkins. 44 at Youngstown. This is the up-close map. 43 at Columbus and at Mansfield. A 43 also at the greater Cincinnati Airport. It's 49 down at Huntington. Lake Erie water at 62. Gale warning in effect tonight. Waves at this point are going 2 to 4. They're going to really kick in, and we go 5 to 7 probably as the evening moves along here. So please, I know a lot of you are probably taking the boats out now this time of the year. This is a big weekend to do that. I would make the recommendation you hold off until things tame down the first part of the week. We'll carry a southwest airflow as high as 25 to 35 tomorrow. Cloud cover in motion here. You saw the sunshine down in Atlanta, down there in Fulton County Stadium. Boy, they're in great shape. Clear skies, no problems at all tonight. Temperatures will be cool as they slide from the 50s down into the 40s. But look at the big common cloud there. Boy, that is really a wraparound. The spill around of the area of low pressure holding on around the Great Lakes, and the lake effect taking over as well. You see where the activity has been in the form of rain. Now, most of the rain here in northern Ohio was too light for radar detection. The scattered areas that we did have today, another shower cluster here, and some wet snow is mixing in now around O'Hare Field in Chicago. And a little sleet could mix in tonight with some of these rain showers. You talk about a front. Now look at that. Double-barreled lows there pushing their way toward the northeast. A weak area of high pressure is down here. That's the next frontal boundary that's going to clip us over the next couple of days. We'll watch that very carefully. Highs today have really gone nowhere. Again, we tried to get up there into the mid-50s. Didn't make it, obviously. 50 was the high, and that was very early today. Daytime temperatures, for the most part, have been in the 40s. Yes, tonight we're going to be cold. There's going to be a range of about 37 to 41 degrees here in northern Ohio, with a rain and sleet mix at times, especially east of the city. And there's a 60% chance of that. There's the range, 37 to about 41. Southwest winds tonight, 10 and 15, and basically a southwest flow again tomorrow. Clouds tomorrow morning. And breaking into sun tomorrow afternoon, we're going to inch that thermometer upward to a high of 58. And then tomorrow night, our skies are going to be clear as overnight lows drop off into the middle 40s. Looking into Monday, mostly sunny, preparing for the Tribe to come back to Jacobs Field on Tuesday. We're going to be mild Monday, very nice, up around 70. Tuesday, a chance of showers in about 66. Wednesday, partly sunny, 59 to 60. And Thursday, partly sunny. We should see a high of 56 degrees. So those numbers are not that impressive, but at least we'll have some sunny weather in here and clear skies, hopefully, for the Tribe when they come back to the Jake. The TV8 weather line is 8810880. We'll keep you updated. Those exclusive News Center 8 forecasts. Go Tribe, game number 1 in Atlanta. I say let's do it in a clean sweep. Let's just take it easy.
Wouldn't that be exciting?
What a guy. Absolutely.
Well, we love your predictions, but I think this one will even lead to the big guy over here.
Tell you what, if we can just win one of the 2 games in Atlanta, I'd be happy.
Well, I think this series is going to go 6 or 7 games, and obviously I like the Indians' chances, and I think there are a couple of individuals down south in Atlanta who like the Tribe's chances as well. Hey, it's the big guy. It's the Case Man. How you doing, fella? And what do you got for us?
I'm doing fine, John. Well, coming up momentarily, we'll hear from the Bulldog, Oral Hershiser. We'll preview the matchup with Mad Dog. That's Greg Maddox. Bobby Cox, Dave Justice, Charles Nagy. We'll have it all for you right after this. A 41-year wait is finally over.
Do you believe in miracles? The Indians are going to the big show, and the only station to give you extended coverage of the playoff victory is giving away free tickets to the World Series. News Center 8. Everyone here is excited. It's the once-in-a-lifetime chance.
People of Cleveland really deserve this.
Be a part of Tribe history. Watch News Center 8 Monday at 6 for details.
We will be the World Series champion.
I say bring on a Braves.
Welcome back, everybody. Indians fans have been waiting for this day for 41 years. Heck with the fans. This guy's been waiting for it for 41 years. Being 42 years of age, it's been a while. Their first World Series appearance since 1954. And tonight it's Game 1. We head down south to Atlanta's Fulton County Stadium for our Casey Coleman and Mark Schrader. Hi, guys.
How you doing, John? Perfect evening for baseball. It's not quite as cool as we thought, which is certainly good news. Best hitting team in baseball against the best pitching team in baseball. It's the Bulldog against the Mad Dog, but Oral Hershiser doesn't quite see this as the dream matchup.
You know, Greg hits, 150 or 129. That's the only time I have to face him. So that's the best part about it, that he has to put a bat in his hand, and that's the only time I really have to face him. And I have to leave. His excellence has to be conquered by 8 other guys, not myself.
Tonight, the whole world will be watching. And despite the loose appearance of this team, Charlie Nagy admits they might be a little tight.
I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to be nervous, have the jitters. They know, all eyes of the world are going to be on us. I think it's great for the game of baseball right now, especially what's been going on the past year or so, and what we have to look forward to. You got the 2 best teams in baseball going at it head-to-head, and I mean, that's what baseball is all about.
But you guys just aren't happy to be here. I mean, you're...
No, I mean, this is one of our goals. We've had this goal for a long time, and ever since last year when we changed that losing attitude into a positive winning attitude, we won 100 games this year, but right now that really doesn't mean anything unless we win this World Series.
And I can tell you this much, I saw Oral Hershiser, and he was the first to take batting practice. He was in a zone. He was oblivious to all the commotion down there on the field, so he is certainly focused, and when you talk focus, few people do it as well as Oral. Now, how about them Braves?
Well, Casey, on the Braves side, a pretty interesting matchup. The Braves come in to the World Series as the hotter team that's at the plate. The Braves hitting an average 287 in the playoffs, so going against Oral Hershiser is probably the winningest, 7-0 in the playoffs. Maybe the Braves have finally met their match against Oral. There is no better postseason pitcher than Oral Hershiser, with a 7-0 lifetime record and 3 MVPs. Hershiser is a World Series opponent nightmare. Braves right fielder Dave Justice would rather have faced a tired Tribe ace.
Believe me, we would rather have played the day after they celebrated. You know what I mean? That way we wouldn't, Hershiser wouldn't be healthy. I mean, wouldn't be able to come right back, and Dennis wouldn't get any rest. So it sort of evens the playing field, actually.
The hot Braves hit 287 in their National League playoffs, but they need a different strategy at the plate tonight against Hershiser.
You only come to bat 4 times, but you got a whole lot of other guys coming to the plate as well that have a job to do. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Take the walk.
Maybe the biggest advantage the Braves will have is that they faced Oral when he was in L.A.
It's a plus for our hitters to at least know some of their starters, and we do, and I think it helps us too. So it's kind of a trade-off there.
In his National League career, Hershiser owned the Braves with a 20-9 lifetime record. Tonight, the Tribe is looking for Oral to make it 21 career wins over Atlanta with a Game 1 victory. On the other side of the ball, we have talked a little bit about the Indians hitting. Right now in the cage, the Indians look very good. One interesting aspect, Albert Bell hit all those home runs today in batting practice, 6 in a row. 8 of his 11 swings went out of the ballpark using Eddie Murray's bat. Maybe a little different twist tonight, trying to change a little bit of luck, Case.
I'm not going to be surprised to see the Indians look a little tight through the first time they see Greg Maddux. I mean, most of these guys have never faced him, so I think it's going to take the Indians a little while to break through, as it did in the Boston and Seattle series. John?
Hey, Case and Mark, one question about the managerial moves. Grover's downplaying the aspect that there is no DH, so hence there may be more moves made by the manager. Do you get any sense that he's not wanting to deal with this type of a situation at all, Case?
I don't think that's a problem, but what I do think is a problem is this. I don't think they're going to miss not having the DH. But certainly Eddie Murray, who played only 18 games at first base and committed 3 errors, is a defensive liability.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yesterday, John, in Mike Hargrove's interview in the media room, he said that he was going to attack it just like it was an American League game. He was very confident in Oral Hershiser as a hitter. Oral's been in this situation before, so he doesn't see that situation being a problem.
And with Oral being a ground ball pitcher, that first baseman is extremely important, John.
All right, Case and Mark, thanks for a great job, and bring home a winner tonight after the ball game.
No problem.
Okay, easy as cake. Well, on to college football, where Ohio State beat Purdue as expected today, but it was a strange day, one where the most exciting plays were on fourth down. This is the story of a punter's trials and tribulations. It's Rob Dagan. He is punting, and Mike Vrabel blocks it, goes right up the middle. The Buckeyes recover at the Boilermakers 24. Then Eddie George took over. 4 straight carries. This short touchdown, it was 7-0 Buckeyes. Purdue to punt again. High snap. He keeps it. He is smothered. Purdue dodged a bullet, though, as they would force an Ohio State turnover. But they punt again. This time, Shavers right there for the Buckeyes' second block punt. But the punter picks it up and goes 17 yards for the first down. Ohio State 14-zip at the half. We go to the third. Bobby Hoying, Terry Glenn for the touchdown. It was 21-0 Ohio State. Now Purdue to punt this time. Why don't we fake it? Good job. Wide open, Lee Johnson can't hang on to the football. Meanwhile, the Bucs capitalize. Hoying to his favorite guy, Mr. Glenn, his 12th touchdown catch to set a school record for TD catches in a season. The Buckeyes win 28-0. They are 7-0. And on a cold day in South Bend today, highlights of Notre Dame and USC. In the first quarter, we take a look here as the big guy, Mark Edwards, takes the head off. He bangs off a couple of would-be tacklers, and he scores to put the Irish on top 6-0. The extra point failed, but the Trojans would come back. Watch the pass here to Keyshawn Johnson, and he's going to put USC up top 7-6 to score. But Edwards, again, he goes in from the 2-yard line. The Irish try for 2. Watch, Paulus handing off to Edwards, who attempts to throw it, can't find anybody. Then, guess who he finds? It's Paulus, wide open for the 2. It put the Irish on top 14-7, and the Irish go on to win 38-10 for Lou Holtz and company. The Lumberjacks were home today getting ready for an 8-game, 15-day road trip, and the visiting Chicago Wolves brought in the league's best scorer, and the league's best scorer did put on a show today. Here is former Team USA goalie Ray LeBlanc for the 1992 hockey team. Tied at 2 in the third period. Going to get the first goal there, slipping it past DeRuleville for a 3-2 lead. 4 minutes later, it's the big guy again, Big Steve with a goal. He had the hat trick, and he leads the IHL with 16 goals. The Wolves win 5-2, and now we go to the rest of the scores on the board. Well, after Wednesday's exhibition loss to New Jersey at Gund Arena, the Cavaliers announced they were trading guard Harold Miner to Toronto for center Victor Alexander. But today, the Cavaliers said thanks, but no thanks. The Cavaliers rescind the deal because Alexander failed a team physical, has an injured tendon in his ankle. The Raptors would have been Miner's third team in 4 months. The Cavaliers picked him up in a trade earlier in the offseason for a second-round pick. And the Houston Rockets can now call themselves indeed the world champions. They beat Butler Bologna in the McDonald's Championship in London. They did it without Hakeem Olajuwon because Clyde the Glide stepped up and scored 25 en route to MVP honors. This is the 7th straight time an NBA team has won that tournament as the Rockets win today by a 126-112 count. And that's all the time we have for sports. We're going to take a break and then go right back down to Atlanta for Robin and Tim. Stay right there as we get ready for Game 1 of the World Series.
I'd like them to win those 2 down there so they can win it all at home.
Ladies, what message have you got for the tribe down in Atlanta? Go Tribe, we love you! Woo!
And welcome back to Atlanta, everybody, in the new home of the Cleveland Indians fans.
You know, the Indians and the Braves, to most baseball fans, they are just the names of the 2 best teams in baseball.
But the team's logos have many Native Americans crying foul, as Russ Jamison reports.
World Series emotions are at a fever pitch again over some of the same issues. The use of American Indian images
and names. On one side, the Cleveland Indians and their logo, Chief Wahoo, and on the other side, the Atlanta Braves. And American Indian movement leaders say it's a World Series, all right, a World Series of political incorrectness.
And we're here to demand that both these teams change their names. Tomorrow, you're going to see two teams come together. That's going to be the largest mass demonstration of cultural cross-dressing in this nation's history.
In 91 and 92, these same Native American leaders staged protests against Braves fans dressing as Indians and doing the tomahawk chop. They have since gone even further, filing suits in Atlanta, Kansas City, Cleveland, and Washington over team logos.
To me, they're just logos. I understand what the big fuss is and everything like that, but, it's just, to me, it's just a team logo.
Well, then, if this is the week that I have no comment on it, I could probably avoid all further discussion of it, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Team officials want to avoid the issue, while city leaders say they'll be sensitive.
America's a great country. We're able to accommodate all means of protest and all means of expression. We will be very sensitive to their feelings, and we'll go from there.
Shirts and hats bearing team logos were swept from store shelves all this week by both teams' fans, who seem to say, what's all the fuss about?
I really don't think everything has to be judged from a cultural level. I mean, some things are just fun, and they're not meant to make a statement. They're just fun.
Other Indian leaders believe all this effort should be directed elsewhere.
If they were to change all their names tomorrow, would that really help our community? I don't think so. There's still underlying tones that we have to deal with, that we have to share, that we have to communicate.
If it was the Atlanta Negroes, the Atlanta Hispanics, any situation like that, the stadium would be burned down overnight.
And AIM Indian leaders say they are surprised and disappointed at the lack of support from civil rights leaders here in the cradle of that movement. Russ Jameson for CNN, Atlanta.
You know, the great work the Indians have done on the field has certainly boosted pride in all of us. But as you'll see coming up, what they have done off the field also means a whole lot to our fans.
Sure does. We're also going to meet some Tribe fans who have stood the test of time right after this. We all know how great the Indians players are on the field.
But they are also a class act off the field. Just ask a Beechwood couple. Before pitching one of the most important games of his career, Orel Hershiser took time out to touch the life of Ellen Culbert. Ellen, you see, is critically ill with cancer and watches the Tribe games from her bed. To help lift her spirits, Hershiser sent her an autographed baseball. Ellen's husband, Ron, says even though he hopes the Indians win the series, that one single small gesture means more to them than anything the Tribe can possibly do on the field.
I'll tell you what, that Orel Hershiser is a class guy.
He's a special, special man.
That's for sure. Well, you know, one of the greatest things about this championship baseball season is it's exciting both the young and the old.
That's right. News Center 8's Bill Martin today spent some time with some true Tribe fanatics.
A song and a prayer for the Cleveland Indians from folks who've seen it all. Still, for some, this World Series will be their first.
I never got to a World Series. I was married and raising children at that time.
The kids are grown, the Tribe is hot, and for baseball fans who've been waiting these lonely 41 years for another winner, it's a little overwhelming.
The best team they've ever had. They've got a good manager, and they've got a whole team of good players.
These folks remember good players, great players, Feller and Lemon. On very special occasions, Walter Berg would sneak away from his farm chores to watch a game.
I think they're wonderful.
Wonderful, exhausting, nerve-wracking. Though this group will continue to cheer the Tribe on, there is one small complaint. The games start a little too late.
Oh, I enjoy it, only I fall asleep before the game's over. That's provoking when you stay up for the 8th inning and then have to go to bed. But I get too sleepy, I can't stay up.
One thing about this team and this season, it spanned the generations, allowing us to know what it was like to win a World Series once. know how wonderful it would be to win it all over again. I'm Bill Martin, News Center 8, Amherst.
And there's a lot more still ahead from Atlanta tonight, but when we come back, we're going to take you back to Cleveland for the second busiest place on this baseball night.
Don't go away.
And the countdown is underway in Atlanta. We are now just about a half an hour away from the ceremonial first pitch to be thrown by Cal Ripken Jr.
All right, you are. Well, we want to check in one more time with News Center 8's Ray Harris, who is with Indians fans who are ready and waiting for that first pitch. Ray?
We're live now at Nautica Stage, which has been transformed into the Field of Dreams. Last time you came to us, there were no fans here. Well, I'm going to show you something. This is the crowd fans right here in Cleveland. And they are very excited about being. Hold on. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, hold on. I got a few people I want to interview right quick, if we can. What's your name, sir?
Dennis.
You are definitely decked out tonight.
You bet,
Get you to
buddy.
talk about why you came down to Nautica Stage tonight.
We got to support the tribe, man. They're going to do it 4 games straight.
Okay, your better half is over here.
Hi, man.
Now, and how did you come up with all this makeup?
Well, we plotted in the office, figured we'd get our team support and come down and root the tribe on.
And by the way, gang, who's going to win the game tonight? A lot of excitement down in the flats, the Field of Dreams. A lot of excitement tonight.
All right. And that's our show on this first night of the World Series, where Cleveland fans have given this town a much-needed shot of enthusiasm.
Oh, you know it. You know it. I think Dick has found a familiar
We've got some family back there, right, Bruce? That's right. My brother Mark lives in Aurora. My mother-in-law, Maggie Zirk, in Euclid. Relatives in Middleburg Heights and all over the place. Parma. Wearing his official Indians garb. The Weather Channel's on our side.
Have y'all been talking weather or sports here? I just want to know.
A little of both. You got to pay here. We're going to take a
leave
look
you now.
Here we go.
With the greatest fans in the world.
That's right. Goodbye, everybody.
Good night from Atlanta.